So here we are. I want to show you a few things. First, a lot of you may not be able to afford the high-end microphones and preamps and interfaces and what have you. A lot of us are home recording studio producers. We do everything out of the house. A basic interface, two in, two out. In my case, I have quite a few options because I'm actually in a actual studio. But at home, I use um, a Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK, 12 in, 12 out, or 12 in, 14 out. Okay. I also have my Akai MPC Touch, 2 in, 2 out, and I also have a Behringer. What's that called? A Behringer. Uh, a Behringer Zenix Q802 USB, two in, two out. Okay, it's a little mixer. All right, but for those of you who have those type of things, the reason why I like using Studio One is because, first of all, Studio One has split its engine into two parts. Okay, you have the regular device block size, and then you have the processing block size. And what that allows for you to do is to allow for a lot of us that have latency issues and things like that. It allows you to turn your buffer all the way to the maximum that it can go. Okay, turn your processing block size to the maximum it can go, so that when you're mixing and playing tracks back, you're able to play all of it using all the plugins and housing all the tracks and running everything. You're able to do all of that with no dropouts, okay, because of the low buffering. So it raises your buffering. But down here, as you see, the monitoring latencies, you can turn the low latency on for the audio, which means any audio signal going into the interface and coming back out, or the virtual instruments. So you turn these on, and then you come here to the audio device. You can still set a totally different buffer block size for the audio device. And when you arm a virtual instrument, or when you arm an audio track that you're getting ready to record in, your latency will be at the small size, but your playback will be on the large size. So it enables you to have zero latency monitoring no matter what interface you use. I think this is one of the best inventions that a DAW could ever come up with, without having to go and buy an interface that features zero latency monitoring. Now it doesn't matter what interface you use, you can have zero latency monitoring with Studio One. Okay, now we can't always afford the high-end preamps and the high-end mics. Okay, for those of us that can, great. But for those of us that cannot, I have a few workarounds. Okay, for those of you who are into plugins and things like that, one of the first things you can do is you can buy a mic modular plugin, which actually takes your microphone signal and basically reconfigures the signal with EQ and different drive and different things like that to make it emulate an expensive microphone. There are tons out there on the internet that you can use to do it. I know Antares was one of the first plugins back in the day. Antares mic modular. Those were one of the first mic imitators plugins that I used. But there are others. There are countless others. Okay. Secondly, use for your preamps. Studio One features it, and I know Logic does this too. I don't know if Pro Tools does it or any other DAW. Cubase may do it and it may not, but Logic does it for sure, and Studio One does it. It means it's check it out. So this is what you do. Okay, so I have a GrooveTube G67 in the live room right now. Okay, and I don't have a high-end preamp. But I do have um, the Waves. I have a lot of Waves plugin that features the Chef 73, which is the emulated version of the Neve 1073. I have the SSL stuff and different things like that. And I want it to record in my system as though I ran the mic through the Neve Chef 73 and all of that. So here's how you do it. Instead of recording it and trying to put it on after the fact, you can record it and run it through your preamp plugins and all of that before the fact, so that your signal is going in hot and beefy right out the gate. And this works with any interface that has any amount of ins and outs and whatnot. Okay, all you do, you go to your input tab here. You see right here, you can insert plugins. That means whatever comes in to that plugin, whatever comes in, whatever comes into this channel is going to go through whatever insert I put in there. So let's go to the Waves. And so let's say I want to run it through a let's do a Shep 72, the Neve 73, should I say. Let's do a Shep's 1073, which is also, it's called the Shep 73. So let's go down here, Shep 73, and let's do mono, because let's say I'm recording on a microphone. All right, it's gonna bring it up, and my microphone is in the other room, and so I'm not gonna go in there and do all the testing and all of that, but I do want to show you this. Okay, it's awesome. All right, so here you have basically the Chef 73, which is an emulation of the Neve 73. So you have your preamp here. You can push it, you can drive the signal up, you can do all of that stuff, you know. EQ, okay, I believe it's 3-band with a high pass filter, and you can drive the signal to make it nice, fat, and warm. If you want to load up any type of preset or anything like that, or let's say you want to run it through the SSL channel beforehand. Pull up the SSL channel, and your signal, whether it be mics, drums, guitar, anything, even if you want to run it through an amp modulation system where, you know, you're setting up all your distortion and all of that going in, you can do that too. All right, it's quite awesome. Come on, SSL, you're taking too long. All right, so you want to run it through your filters, your EQs, your compressors, your gate, all of that can be ran going in. And really, I like it because it'll take a lot of the guesswork when it comes to mixing. A lot of that will be already pre-done to the track, and all you have to do is some fine-tune tweaking, and you'll love that, you know. What's the next thing? Vintage compression. Let's do the CLA 2A. You know, you want to run it through a CLA 2A. All right, boom, there you go. There are tons of emulations, especially CLA 2A. This is one of the best compressors of all time, old school and new school. So Waves is not the only one that has the CLA 2A. Actually, the CLA 2A emulation does come with PreSonus Studio One in the Fat Channel plugin. Where's my Fat Channel? There it is. So you bring it here. It has the CLA 2A, and it has the I want to say it has the Fairchild 1176. So boom, here's your CLA 2A. Of course, they couldn't name it, okay, because, you know, for legal reasons. All right, but this is the CLA 2A emulation. Okay, same thing. All right, here's the other vintage compression. Matter of fact, this is the 1176. This is the Fairchild 1176. Okay, so I'm telling you guys, you know, you're gonna love it. You know, check these vintage. Look at this, man. This is dope. I'm telling you, I use all of these discrete EQs and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so you can put any effect you want going in. So not only does it save you on the back end in the mix, but it also saves you on CPU. Okay, because you don't have to stack all these plugins on after the fact. You can run it going in, and then it's on the actual track. So it saves you a lot of CPU space, processing, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, the other thing, let's say you have drums and you know I need to replace my drums. Okay, I need to replace my drums. The mics didn't record them that great, and I can't seem to get a good EQ going. I can't seem to dial them in right. Here's what you do. Okay, now if you have this plugin, great. I have the Trigger by Slate Digital. Okay, and I'll do a video on how to use that in when we start getting into a lot of the production. And so Slate Digital, but then PreSonus lets you use their gate. On their gate, they actually have a trigger uh, option where you activate the trigger and you can change the note that kick is triggering, change the MIDI note, and then you can go to your favorite plugin here. Let's bring up let's bring up a addictive drums or something like that. You bring up your favorite plugin, and then you tell that plugin whatever you want to receive the signal from that gate. That's really what you want to do. You tell that plugin, hey, let's go straight to the kit here, and you say, hey, I want to receive the signal straight out there. So you go here to the info pane, go to the end gate right there. So that means whatever comes through this gate is gonna trigger C3, and actually it would be C1, so that you get this kick here. Okay, so that's how you do drum replacement in Studio One. Okay, other programs have drum trigger replacement. I know Logic has a really great one, a great system for drum replacement. But let me try to get out of here. So with all that being said, I just wanted to give you these quick tips on how to kind of get ahead on getting stuff tight going in. Okay, because it's very important that you get stuff tight going in. That way you will easily be able to achieve better mixes. All right, this is Danye Goodman. I look forward to talking to y'all next week. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do next week. I want to do something kind of cool, but we'll figure it out. We are still mixing. We got a couple of gospel quartet songs we're gonna mix. So we're gonna have some live guitar stuff happening. All right, and we're gonna be trying to dial that in, and we're gonna have a different tone and color to that mix as opposed to the mix that we were working on prior. However, it's on the same record, so the instrumentation and some of the tonality of the instruments have to have the same vibe. All right, so it's going to be interesting in mixing how we kind of co-produce this thing so that everything has the same kind of vibe. But thank y'all for rocking with me. Okay, see y'all in a week.